on Ukraine? Morning, everyone. Morning. What's the latest on Ukraine? Lots of work to do keeping everyone together. Nice job. Morning.
آقای رئیسی گشت ارشاد رو تعطیل می‌کنید. آقای رئیسی گشت ارشاد رو تعطیل می‌کنید. از مرگ مهسا امینی چی می‌دونید آقای رئیسی؟
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm here to give Belarusians the voice, to give the voice to those people who are fighting with the dictatorship. Yes, UN recognizes only like governments, even these governments are dictatorial, and the representative of the regime is speaking in UN these days. And my task was to meet as many world leaders as possible, to organize events, side events on hearing on Belarus, and that we managed actually to do this. And our messages to UN are that UN can hold hearings on Belarus, that UN should attract this regime for his crimes, attract to accountability for his crimes in Belarus, and to keep Belarus in focus. It's so important that Belarus is not overlooked.
Associated Press.
Thank you so much.
It's very interesting catching up.
And I understand why it's going on, that all the focus on Ukraine, we really understand the importance of this attention, but we don't have to forget the role of Belarus in this regional crisis, and we don't have to forget about people in Belarus who are also fighting and who are also suffering because of the war and because of the dictator rule in our country.
Also imperils Ukrainian nuclear plants, and many countries are afraid of that. This is an intolerable risk for Ukraine, but also for other European countries. And as I said,
it's very important now to understand that the fate of Ukraine and fate of Belarus are interconnected. There will be no free Belarus without free Ukraine, but also while regime is in power, there will be constant threat to Ukrainian security, to the security of our western borders. So Belarus is part of this problem, and this problem, this crisis, has to be solved in complex. But Belarusian people are absolutely against any war, but especially against Ukrainians, our brothers and sisters. We have wonderful relationship with Ukrainians as nation, and we see that Kremlin doesn't see no Ukraine, no Belarus as independent, separate, sovereign states. Kremlin wants our countries grab into this, Russian Empire, and we have to fight together with Ukrainians for our independence, for the very existence of both our countries.
I'm just printing it off.
It's a global issue, and those countries who have these democracies, they have to, it's like moral obligation you to support those who are fighting for this. And we Belarusians are sure that brave Ukrainians, brave Belarusians, together with the support of strong democratic countries, will win this war. Of course, we don't know how many people's lives, broken fates, ruined cities it will cost, but at the end, those who are on the good side of the history, they will win.
Bye.
We're facing a food pricing problem in 2022 that's creating havoc around the world. Well, if we don't get on top of this thing quickly, and I don't mean next year, I mean this year, you will have a food availability problem in 2023, and that's going to be hell on earth. We're looking at an $11 billion shortfall of food production inside Africa alone. Now I could go to Central America, South America, same issues on droughts. India, devastated by heat and drought, and it could go on and on. The world produces enough food to feed everybody on the planet, over 7.7 billion people. 50% of that food is because of fertilizer. So if you don't have fertilizer, you can't have harvest at the yields that you need. The fertilizers that we're talking about, number one, China's got a complete export ban on fertilizer. Number two, the number two producer of fertilizer in the world is Russia. And they are struggling to get the fertilizer out. I'm asking world leaders, I don't care how you feel about Russia, China, or anything, fertilizers have got to move to bring food security to the rest of the world. Otherwise, there's going to be chaos all over the world. The other factor is inflation and the value of the dollar. Because the value of the dollar is so strong now, it's offset any movement we've had in the poor countries with regards to food pricing. We were able to avert famine in the last couple of years as I went to the leaders of the world, said if you don't respond, you will have catastrophe on catastrophe, is particularly in the height of COVID. And the leaders did respond. We averted famine. But then Ukraine comes on, shutting down the breadbasket of the world that produces enough food to feed 400 million people.